What is going on, everybody? It is Luke Beller with the Sideline Scoop, and today I'm going to be breaking down my top 5 NFL QB free agents in 2021. In the past few videos, you guys have been commenting, are you going to make videos in the future about the free agency situation in the NFL? And so I've decided to make this video here today. With lots of teams eliminated from the playoffs, lots of people are starting to be interested in the free agent situation. So I'm going to break down those 5 guys, 5 quarterbacks for today's video. And after I break down those 5 guys, I'm going to talk about potential teams in the NFL who could, need a quarterback in 2021. And so if you guys are new here, you want to see some more NFL content, I put out NFL content pretty much 5 to 6 days a week on the Green Bay Packers because I'm a Packers fan, and the NFL as well. So if you want to see more of that, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a single video. So at number 5, we have Cowboys quarterback. And there are a couple Cowboys quarterbacks who are going to be free agents this year, but this one right here that I'm going to talk about first is Andy Dalton. So Andy Dalton signed to the Cowboys before the season starts. They signed him to I think it was like a $3 million deal, a 1-year, $3 million deal. And the plan was, okay, let's put Andy Dalton, let's bring him in here as a backup for Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's our guy. We put him on the franchise tag. We didn't really sign him to a contract yet because, Jerry Jones may be a little greedy, maybe not, who knows, everyone has their own opinion. So they decided to bring in Andy Dalton. And in week 5, Dak Prescott goes down after, starting the season off incredibly, playing really good. Andy Dalton has to come in here and be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So obviously it didn't go as planned for the Cowboys. They would have liked to have Dak Prescott in there, but Andy Dalton was in there. So when we sort of take a look at how well Andy Dalton played in 2020, he passed for 2,169 yards, 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a 64.1 completion percentage, and he had an 87.3 passer rating, which ranks as the 25th in the NFL. So I think that Andy Dalton is an okay quarterback. Maybe now more so a backup quarterback as he was with the Cowboys. And with him being a free agent after this season, I don't know if the Cowboys will plan on bringing him back just because it seems that their priority is to sign Dak Prescott to bring him back to this Cowboys team because you can sort of see the Cowboys really do need Dak Prescott on their team to really be competitive. And so I just don't know if Andy Dalton will come back to the Cowboys considering he's going to be a free agent. If we take a look at this quote from Andy Dalton, he said, "I feel like I can play, and I feel like I can help a team win. Hopefully, with the film I put out this year, people see that and value me in that way. I obviously feel like I still got a lot of good football left, and we'll see how it all plays out." So personally, I think that Andy Dalton could end up being a backup coming into 2021. Maybe there's a team that thinks he could be a starter, but with his age and sort of how he's played in the past couple seasons, as more so a backup level talent, I would say. I think that maybe he'll end up on another team as a backup in 2021. But also with Andy Dalton, growing up in Dallas and Texas, maybe he'll want to stay with the Cowboys and he'll take another cheap deal and back up Dak Prescott. Who knows? We'll have to see in 2021. So now on to number 4, we have quarterback Jameis Winston. And Jameis Winston has had a pretty interesting ride in the past couple seasons. The Bucs pick him number 1 overall, a while back. He plays with them for a long time, and while he was there, he had some good seasons, but he just threw way too many interceptions. In 2019, he threw for 5,109 yards, so he can put up yards. He also threw for 33 touchdowns, but the problem with him is his interception problem. He has a tendency to throw the ball to the other team, which you're not really supposed to do. He did that 30 times for the Buccaneers in 2019, so they say, okay, Jameis, we don't really like you anymore. Let's bring on Tom Brady. I think he's a better option, and obviously he is a better option. So now Jameis Winston has been the backup quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. He comes in there. It seems like maybe if Drew Brees were to go down, Winston would be the guy to come in, but apparently it's Taysom Hill. So they seem to value Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston. So after this season, Winston is going to be a free agent because it seems like maybe, who knows, Drew Brees could retire after the season. It's going to be a crazy offseason, that's for sure. So who knows what will happen with this quarterback situation. But Jameis is going to be a free agent after this year. And maybe after a year under Drew Brees, he picked up some things. Maybe Drew Brees was like, hey, dude, you're not supposed to throw to the other team. And Jameis was like, oh, now I get it. So maybe he's figured that problem out. So a few weeks ago, it came out from Adam Schefter. He said, I'll give you a place that makes a lot of sense for Jameis Winston. Cincinnati, which will have Joe Burrow coming back. You don't know if he'll be ready for the start of the season. So what he was basically saying there is with Joe Burrow having his injury, they don't know if he's going to be ready for the beginning of the 2021 season. So maybe Jameis Winston could come in to the Bengals and have the ability to start for the first few games of the season. Maybe people see, oh, wait, Jameis Winston has figured out how not to throw to the other team. Maybe other teams will want to get him in 2022. So maybe that sort of brings up Jameis Winston's stock, and maybe that could be a place that he could end up in 2021. So that's a place for him. So now, number 3, we got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who started off with the Dolphins in 2020. He also ended off with the Dolphins in 2020. Don't know why I said it that way. But he started 7 games in 2020 for the Miami Dolphins. So he started 7 games in 2020 for the Miami Dolphins, passing for 2,091 yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a 68.5 completion percentage, and a 95.6 passer rating, which ranks 17th in the NFL. Then the Dolphins brought in a guy, Tua, and so they decided, okay, let's, Ryan Fitzpatrick is playing pretty well. How about we take him out? It was a little bit questionable decision at the time, but it seems that Tua has been okay. He's been 6-3 as he started playing, 64% completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and an 87.1 rating. And it came out a couple of days ago. The Dolphins GM and Chris Grier says Tua is our starter. So Tua is going to be the starter coming into 2021. So it begs the question if Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to want to return to the Dolphins in 2021. Because coming into 2020, he decides to stay with the Dolphins because, he's going to be the starter. And so now with that situation changing, Tua likely the future for the Miami Dolphins. I just don't know if Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to go back to the Dolphins. And so I think there could be lots of teams that could want to bring in Ryan Fitzpatrick, a veteran guy who could, maybe be a quarterback that can come in for a year, maybe 2 years, and sort of allow a team to bring on another guy, maybe like a younger quarterback, and maybe Fitzpatrick could sort of carry the ship while I bring up that other guy. Who knows? There's lots of possible situations for Ryan Fitzpatrick. And now the number 2 guy, a guy who is getting up there. He has lots of children. Maybe he wants to, stop playing in the NFL soon. Actually, he does want to stop playing in the NFL soon. It came out a few days ago. Potentially. It's potential. It's not for sure yet. So we got Phillip Rivers. And so as I was doing this research, it comes up Phillip Rivers is going to be a free agent after this season. But within the past week, it came out that he is either going to retire after this season or he is going to return to the Colts. So that's what he said. Obviously, things change. As our guy Brett Favre has shown us, when you say you're going to retire, you don't really have to. And so with Phillip Rivers, bringing the Colts to the playoffs, 11-5, it seems to have been a great pickup by the Colts, who, in the past had a lot of problems at quarterback. I mean, they had Andrew Luck, but that didn't really quite go as they probably had hoped. But when we take a look at Phillip Rivers this season, 4,169 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 68% completion percentage, and a 97 passer rating, which ranked 13th in the NFL. So Phillip Rivers played really good for the Colts. It started off maybe not super well. People were saying, oh, it was a bad decision. Now it seems that it was a pretty good decision for the Colts. They are in the playoffs, which is probably, what they would have hoped for. And so who knows what's going to happen with Phillip Rivers. Maybe he'll retire. Maybe he won't retire. And so it doesn't seem that there could be another team that could bring him in just because, he's getting up in age. He's an entire family. He probably doesn't want to move again. And so that's probably why he's like, either I'm going to retire and, call it quits, or I'm going to return to Indianapolis, because he probably doesn't want to have to, put his kids in another situation where he has to move his entire family to a new city and sort of get used to that. That's sort of my theory. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he has other reasons. But that's sort of what I think for Phillip Rivers. So then the number 1 potential free agent is Dak Prescott. And we talked about it when I was talking about Andy Dalton, that it seems that the Cowboys' priority is to sign Dak Prescott to a long-term contract. The thing is, they haven't been able to get to an agreement at this point, but it seems pretty likely that Dak Prescott is going to be on the Cowboys for the 2021 season just because they do really need him. The VP, Stephen Jones, said recently that he is their number 1 priority, or one of their top priorities for 2021. And so, of course, you never know what could happen. It seems that there's like a 90% chance that he'll likely end up with Dallas. Maybe it's even higher. Maybe it's lower. I don't know. You can figure out that math. But he still could end up on another team. It's very unlikely, but he is, going to be an unrestricted free agent. So the Cowboys either have to put another franchise tag on him, or they have to pay up and pay him lots of money. And I think one thing that's sort of slowing it down, potentially, it's just my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, is that the 2021 salary cap is likely going to be lowering. And so it may even be harder for Dak Prescott to get the deal that he wants. But at the same time, it seems that the Cowboys really do need Dak Prescott. So it's likely that they will bring him back in 2021. But you never know what could happen. So those are the 5 guys. And now I'm going to talk about, other NFL teams who could potentially be in need of a quarterback. So first off, we have the Denver Broncos, who we're hoping Drew Luck would have an amazing season. He didn't seem to look that great in his second year. Honestly, I thought he was going to have a breakout season this year. Didn't really happen quite as maybe the Broncos had expected. So potentially, maybe they would like to bring in another quarterback for the 2021 season. Maybe one of these guys I talked about. Then we got the Lions, who could potentially be trading Matthew Stafford. I've seen rumors of people like maybe he'll go to the Patriots, maybe he'll go to some other team. So it could be that the Lions could part ways with Matthew Stafford, which would mean they would need a quarterback, as all NFL teams do. You need a guy at quarterback, obviously. Then we got the Colts, as I just talked about. If Phillip Rivers retires, they're going to need a quarterback as well. And so I've seen lots of rumors that Carson Wentz could be the guy because he doesn't seem to be too happy in Philly with Jalen Hurts currently being the guy. He's like, I want to be the guy. He's not the guy. I should be the guy. But Jalen Hurts is the guy. So the guy who for the Colts could be one of these 5 guys, or it could be Carson Wentz. Who knows what's going to happen there. Then we got the Raiders, who apparently can move on from Carr and save $20 million. That's a lot of money. So maybe you want to move on from him, bring on another guy, maybe a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick. Then we got the Patriots, who bring in Cam Newton last year. Didn't quite go as planned. He didn't look as good as he used to look. There were times where he looked good, and then there were times where he looked very bad. And so who knows if they're going to keep Cam Newton on. Cam Newton will also be a free agent, but I didn't think he was in the top 5. Maybe you do. But no, the Patriots could move on from Cam Newton. Maybe one of these guys could fill that spot. Then we got the Saints. Drew Brees. Who knows? Drew Brees could retire after this season. Do the Saints see Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston as their next guy? Potentially, but at the same time, you never know what could happen. Maybe one of these guys could end up there. Then the last team I'm going to talk about is the 49ers. So apparently they can save about $23 million if they let Garoppolo go. So potentially the 49ers could be looking for a quarterback. So it's definitely going to be exciting to see where all these free agents in the NFL end up. Those are the quarterbacks. Who knows where they will go. I'm going to be breaking down running backs and wide receivers in the future, so make sure you stay tuned and subscribe so that you do not miss those videos. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash the like button down below. Let's see if we can get to 1,000 likes. I don't think I've ever gotten close to 1,000 likes. I probably won't even get close to 1,000 likes, but let's see if it can happen. But that's going to be all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys on the next one.